welcome to another episode of Startup Hustle Middle East. Today we've got Ray. He's the founder of STEP Conference. So if you guys don't know, STEP is one of the best conferences or the largest conferences when it comes to startups. So Ray's been doing it for a couple of years now. How long?
Seventh year. This is seventh year.
Wow, it's the 7th year for STEP. And every year it gets better. I've been attending for the last 4 years, so it's been a big inspiration
It's
for
not
me.
your boring conference. That's what it is. That's what I call it. It's not your boring conference.
It's definitely a very cool conference. So what made you decide to start STEP?
I mean, it's kind of started a bit naturally as well. It was an event with 100 people that we did in Dubai at Make Business Hub, which was the first kind of co-working space. We didn't know it would become this big. At that time, I mean, we had the vision for it, and then, obviously you get inspired from global events like South by Southwest, which was quite the inspiration for us as a model to do in the region to help grow the startup ecosystem. So that kind of, together with a lot of creative ideas that we always focused on and details to make the experience amazing and outstanding, that's what helped us build an audience of super fans and people who are really passionate about STEP.
Yeah, the thing is, we love STEP, me and Mamta as well. Mamta has spoken at STEP a couple of times
for a few years now, yes.
Yeah, so we really enjoy the format, and I'm so glad you created something like this. It really helps the whole ecosystem move ahead as well.
Thank you.
So you guys have plans now. You were launching a new STEP.
Oh, we have
Saudi
big plans.
Arabia?
We announced today. Yeah, we announced STEP Saudi,
Okay.
which is going to be the first time we're doing STEP conference, which is called STEP Saudi in Riyadh in Saudi.
Okay.
That's going to be next month on March 25th.
Wow, that's soon.
Yes, very soon. That's very much next for us.
Okay, cool.
Next, as in tomorrow. So we don't have much time.
Yeah,
we've been working on that for a few months behind the scenes.
Okay.
And engaging with a lot of the Saudi ecosystem players, talking to people, understanding the culture better, understanding the people better. I'm really excited about Saudi. Like personally, I'm very excited about that.
I'm sure it's going to be a great event, as you guys always do. So, what made you decide to call it STEP? Like, I'm wondering why you decided to call it STEP. Like, was there a thought process?
The other day there was a joke about what STEP stands for. I don't remember what it was, but it actually doesn't stand for anything. It doesn't stand for anything in terms of the S, T, and E and P. But what it represents is, at that time when I first started it, is basically a step forward for the region. So I wanted STEP to become it's really that, like, for us, everything we're doing, it could be a small step in the bigger picture of things, but that's small step with the conference or what we do on STEP Feed or Yalla Feed with the content, like changing people's mentality, allowing people to start companies, connecting them with investors, just improving the whole state of living in the Arab world, and we call it modernizing the Arab world, is a big part of our vision. So it's about helping shape the modern Arab world and continuously going to the next step, moving the whole region to the next step.
Very cool. So, you guys also have STEP Feed, which is like your journalism arm, I guess?
Yes.
So, what is the thought process behind that? Like, you had the event, and then you decided to get into media?
I mean, STEP Conference is a bit niche. It focuses on an ecosystem of really important and influential people.
Right.
Early adopters, technology and digital savvy people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not mass. So you're talking about, startup founders, an ecosystem of investors, startup founders, digital, managers, and so on. But we wanted to talk to the mass as well.
Okay.
So STEP Feed actually targets part of the mass as well. It targets what we call third cultured Arabs. They're Arabs who are English speaking. They've studied in the US or in Europe or elsewhere, or maybe they're in the region, but they're third cultured, so they're well traveled, they speak English and so on. So it's an English property.
Yeah.
Then we have Yalla Feed. Yalla Feed is pure Arabic, and this is the real mass. So if you look at it, STEP Conference is niche, STEP Feed is somehow mass, and then Yalla Feed, which is the video entertainment Arabic, focus on millennials and Generation Z. This is the mass for us. So it's very important for what we're doing that we basically, talk to everyone and help shape that modern Arab world. Like I said,
That's very cool. And you guys also run Step like a startup. I know you've raised.
we are a startup.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't run it like a startup. We are a startup ourselves, and that's what gives us advantage over other, let's say, within the event, because when we talk to startups,
Yeah.
they know we're a startup ourselves. We've went through the same experience they go through. So
True.
we're not some big corporate or some event organizer that's trying to put this on. We know, like, we've experienced
the
it.
struggles.
Yeah. It's not, I don't like this too much. The whole, we had a session about the title, the struggle porn, which is like about talking
Yeah.
too much about hustling and struggle and all that.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
Definitely you need to work hard as a startup founder, but
Not
I think
killing
there's been
yourself.
a lot of talk about like all like hustling and failing is good. Failing is good because you learn, but no one wants to fail. So
Yeah,
if
sure.
there's anyone who wants to fail, that's not good. So
Right.
so no, failing is not good, but if you fail, you get back up.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would never want to fail myself, and I don't think anyone
Sure.
wants to fail.
I don't think
Yeah.
anybody goes ahead with the plan of failing, but
But there has been a little bit of
glamorization.
of big speakers going out and making money out of making this whole thing entertainment.
I
And
know
I'm against
exactly who you're
that.
talking
Yeah.
about.
I'm against that. Yeah.
All right, cool. When I meant like you run Step as a startup, I mean like you've raised VC money
Yes.
and you're expanding, growing very fast. So you're a high growth startup. That's what I meant. So, so are you guys looking to raise more, expand more geographically? Like, what's the plan? I know you just did.
We've raised from investors like Wamda and others in the region and globally as well.
Okay.
So we've invested a lot of that into the growth that we've achieved so far. Right now, our focus is to become a sustainable company as well and a sustainable startup.
Mhm.
So we're working a lot on that. We might raise in the future again whenever we need that cash and have a need to build something that needs the money.
Okay.
There's no immediate plans to fundraise, no, but
Okay. So
Yeah.
you guys are on the path that you want to be on.
yeah, we wanna. It's very important to I think to also. It depends on the kind of growth that you're doing. We're not a software company or
Right.
it's a different kind of like growth that we do. So it's also important within our business to also be sustainable and profitable at some point. I think that's also important.
Sure. One more thing I wanted to check with you is when you guys first started Step, it was purely for startups. And then you guys diversified into music and
Yeah.
digital, and I think there was a fourth.
Step X, Step Money, and Step Start. So Step, all these are under Step Conference. Basically, it's creating sub conferences, which allows us and the attendees and the startups and the sponsors to focus more on the content that's coming out. So we have more stages, more focused, allows people to actually learn, more in depth instead of the shallow, generic high stuff. So that's and it allows us to bring in a lot more partners. In the X part, we brought, for example, this year, which you see different, we have automotive companies showcasing their electric vehicle muscle, showcasing their technologies, because Step is becoming a platform for automotive players if they want to showcase their EV, talk about it, interact with early adopters, and learn and integrate more with tech. Let's put it this way. So that's on the sub conference that we have, and I can talk to you about each one of them. Maybe it will take some time, so maybe on a different occasion. But Step Music was a really we kind of did quite a big event in 2017, which was, from an audience point of view, really successful. It's just the music industry itself, especially independent music, which we have a lot of passion for it. It's quite tough as from a business point of view, as an industry, and to be able to grow that. So we would definitely love to go back and push more on that. If I'd say the mechanics and the dynamics of the music space, especially the independent music space in the region, improves.
So back in my college days, I used to be a musician myself, and there was not much of a music scene over here. So when I saw you guys doing step music, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
At least somebody's supporting the local artists.
Yeah,
out here,
that's
which
the
is-
idea, right?
yeah.
And we'd still want to do that,
Yeah.
but you need the minimum mechanics of the space.
It needs to make business sense.
Yeah, it needs to make business sense. It needs to, there needs to be a bigger connection between mass entertainment artists and independent artists, like a connecting bridge with that, which is a little bit non-existent in the region because they're quite different. So
All right, cool. So if you had any advice for our listeners who are mostly young entrepreneurs or upcoming entrepreneurs, what would you share with them? What advice would you give them, from your experience?
there's no one I don't think I can give one advice, or anyone can give an advice. Overall, I would say there's things that I can see and there's many things that I can point out to, but I would say I started quite early off university. Just from my experience, it doesn't mean that it's the case for everyone, but the earlier you start, the less opportunity cost to lose you have. So when you start earning salary and start making money, all of a sudden you're used to a certain lifestyle. Leaving that and going and starting a company is quite difficult. When you're off school, you can live on
Peanuts.
minimal,
Yeah.
and the risk is lower, right? So I think
Opportunity cost.
yeah, so that's very important. I think take risk as early as possible, because whether we like it or not, that's the normal nature of human beings. As we grow older, we become more risk averse. Even the people who take the biggest risks, because of the experiences we face in life, we become more risk averse. Some people say like, oh, whatever, you need to get more experience as a young person or a fresh grad. But in many times, especially in entrepreneurship,
Yep.
risk taking is more important than experience.
Yeah. You need
So,
to have
yeah.
it's all about the risk,
Yeah,
right?
it's all about the risk, and you have that risk. Younger people that can take more risk.
Sure. All right, guys, that's it.
Thank you
from
very much.
Our
Thank you.
interview with Ray. Thank you so much
Great
for
chat.
being
Thank
on
you.
the show.
fun.
If you guys want to check out more about the STEP conference, we'll leave links for it in the description. STEP's over this year, but you can definitely make it next year, or maybe you guys can visit
See you in
Saudi.
Saudi. Yeah, see you in Riyadh.
All right, guys, that's it for this podcast, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Thank you.